Hey, what's up, Andy's leaders and all listeners? This is Travis. I am so thankful you're here today. Welcome back to the Custard Campus podcast, the show where leadership, growth, and our world-famous frozen custard come together. Today, we are exploring what it really takes to grow with purpose in one of America's most competitive industries. Our guest began at Meadowville Incorporated, then a small $1.8 million dairy, and he helped guide it through a season of remarkable growth to $100 million. That's incredible. That growth didn't happen in isolation. In 1998, Meadowville began doing business with our own Andy's Frozen Custard, back when Andy's was just 3 stores. Over time, that partnership shaped the way Meadowville operated and served, reinforcing a leadership philosophy grounded in humility and service. You'll hear today, it's not a victory lap, but a story about stewardship, about recognizing excellence, building trust, and choosing to serve first. You'll also hear what it means to come full circle. Our guest is honored to be boots on the ground with the family who has outsized impact on his personal and professional journey. As we look ahead, you'll hear heart-level commitment. I serve at the will of that family, and I will stick around as long as they will have me. He describes this as the apex principle in action, excellence pursued daily with humility. Jason, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Travis.
Awesome.
I'm honored.
You know, I think it's been around 11 years since I had dinner with you for that first time. And ever since then, every time we get together, I pulled some sort of cheat code from you that has helped shape my journey. Especially lately, it's been amazing to be back and serving alongside you. I can't wait for our audience to hear from you. You told me to keep it focused on the principle, so that's what I'll do, and we'll jump right in. Jason, the U.S. dairy industry is vast and intensely competitive. How did Meadowville, once a $1.8 million dairy when you joined them, chart a path to $100 million within an industry of that type of scale?
That's a great question. Rather than go into the history of what was when I got there in 93, it's what happened. It was kind of a low spot in my life, but I've found a very small group of people just trying to get ahead. We had great stewardship. I had a phenomenal mentor who has since then retired, and he really instilled the principles of humility in me and what it meant to be a leader, although I wasn't a leader at that time. And I don't know if I've ever been a leader on my best day, maybe a good inspiration.
No, that's amazing, Jason. And you're being extremely humble right now, which we all can aspire to. Where, though, in this, amazing scale, did discipline matter most? Was it around quality, logistics, relationships? You helped build this. Kind of give us a little background there.
Well, I had a great work ethic. My father worked most of his life, most of the hours. So I knew what it was like to work. I didn't know what excellence looked like in terms of true artisanal craftsmanship. And I found it in frozen custard, oddly enough, when I met the Kuntz family.
That's amazing. It's funny, as we're literally doing this, our audience needs to know this, in the craftsmanship of your life, right? Like,
yeah.
We're doing it in
We're
your
literally
garage.
here. Yeah. We got a lot of projects going on.
That's right. Like,
some are a little secret, top secret
that's
for
right.
now, but you'll be there for the reveal.
That's amazing. Right. That's great. Meadowville's growth really began after partnering with Andy's Frozen
100%.
Custard. That's awesome. 1998.
Yep.
What did you see in Andy's then, and how did that partnership become transformative over this time? Yeah.
98 or 99. It was November, right before Thanksgiving. I saw a guy at a window, said, "Hi, may I help you?" And I said, "I'm looking for Andy Kuntz." And he says, "Well, hi, I'm Andy." And he took me in to the shop, and I sat in the office. And when he had time, we sat down and I got to know him and he got to know me.
Nice. How did that trust get built between the both of you, both teams over time?
Well, I think it was already in us. I think we just found one another. He's Andy. He's still alive. I got to remind people that. So it's a work in progress, but I'm kind of a visionary spirit, and so is Andy. We both were big time on quality, everything from architecture, you name it. We want to pursue the best. So it was kind of like a kindred spirit. I knew it when I met him. He had a problem with his mix. A mutual friend, Ron Schneider from Leon's, called Jason, and he did. And what we need to discuss, I wasn't comfortable discussing over the phone. So I said, I will come to you. And I came on a Sunday night, and I went down after church, like an 8-hour drive.
Sure.
Went up to the window. He was there afterwards. He took me to a place he knew. He told me everything he expected out of anyone he allowed into his inner circle. And thankfully, I fit the bill.
That's amazing. Thanks for that insight. A lot of us don't have that history and everything that's kind of happened over the last 40 years, and that's big. You've led with a servant-based philosophy in life and in business. What does servant leadership look like in practical day-to-day decisions?
I have a faith-based principle. Been around for a long time, gotten better, and then sometimes takes a downturn, but always comes back up. So I like to lead by example, but if you're not setting a good example, you can be a leader and do a lot of harm. So the first thing is the golden rule: treat others as you would like to be treated in all things. Lead with kindness, compassion, understanding, and know that if you're not making mistakes, you're not pushing your limits far enough. I always tell anyone I've worked with on my team, and I've been blessed to be a lot of them, I said, indecision is a decision itself, and it's the worst one you can make. So pull the trigger, and we'll ride the bullet together.
That's so good. We've got to take action, especially
Always.
For us to grow. I
Yes.
love that. You know, I've heard some really great stories for you, Jason, over time. Do you want to share a short story when you really had to serve to change the outcome?
Wow. Yeah. I remember when we were building Meadowville 2, and it was scheduled to be, I think, a $7, then a $9 million, then a $12 million, got up to a $27 million project. Our former plant manager who had served us very well had retired. We had a new plant manager. I liked him, but he was out over his skis, and shame on me. I didn't recognize it sooner, but I did, and brought a friend in to do it because it was in his wheelhouse. He was incredibly structured, very disciplined, very hardworking, and he was an engineer, and I worked through him. So that would be an opportunity where I had to have faith and good discernment to entrust someone to get the job done, and then get right alongside them and say, what can I do to help?
And with that servant leadership, how did that shape Meadowville's culture? Whether that's hiring, quality standards, how it showed up for the partners and the customers?
Yeah, man. People don't realize there's an ancient saying that says a little yeast will spread throughout the batch. And generally, that can be a bad thing.
Right.
You don't want yeast, or it can be a really good thing. And in Meadowville's instance, we were mainly young people without direction that had to eat and provide for families. So it was there. I mean, we didn't read a book to learn culture. We treated one another with respect. We celebrated one another's victories, and we pick one another up in our failures.
That's amazing. And team out there, listeners, that's your cheat code, right? It's about taking action, doing it together, and bringing your team alongside you, serving them. And that builds culture. Jason, as you have come to work closely with the Andes family, how does it feel to really come full circle with the very people and brand you began the journey with?
It's a trip, dude. It's a lot. Try not to get choked up. Yeah, it feels like coming home. I mean, feels like coming home. A lot of new faces, I can say this. When we started out, Eric Reed was the first guy to jump on board. And he is awesome.
Yeah.
He's a very close friend. And the people I came back to are brilliant. Everyone. I've never, ever in my life served with a more competent, compassionate, loving, supportive, kick butt team. I outkicked my coverage coming back.
Right.
Like, I had to level up. I was like, oh, man. And they inspire me. People like Molly Madison, Wyatt, who is a brilliant programmer and went on to Expedia, still a great friend. And the list goes on, man. Autumn, someone's going to feel left out. Know that you're not. Mary, Mimi, everyone there is exceptional. They make me better every day. Christy Danes, amazing. Christy Everett, everyone in all different ways. The love. The fact that Carol Kuntz is alive and well, the fact that she is the bearer of the torch, the fact that Dana and Andy are in the wings and moving and shaking, the fact that Leah, Collier, Tatum, they're all integrated in the family business. I don't know of any other business like that. I mean, it is truly not only family founded, it's family led. We're in the third generation.
You're not going to get that
anywhere else.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
I've never found it.
That's right. So from your vantage point, Jason, what are the essential attributes for recognizing excellence in a brand, product, team?
Well, let's start with the human element in character and integrity.
Nice.
Non-negotiable. If someone doesn't either have or have the capacity and willingness for integrity and honesty, I have no time for them at all. I don't want them near me. I don't want them around me. And they certainly aren't going to be working with or for me. So it begins with quality, honesty, integrity. And the reason for that is quality is a universal language that pretty much most people understand. But honesty and integrity, you have to work at those. And if you're not willing to work for those, I'm not willing to work with you or for you. Non-negotiable.
You take all that and you attribute it to our 3 C's, like the Custard, the crew, customer. And it's fun just talking with you even last week about machines and how to really pick apart the idea of the mix, from Meadowville, and you talking to me about the idea of the separation and the flavor profile and how the vanilla makes such a difference. And what are some of the other things? You just talked about the crew and a little bit about the Custard. Can you give us a little bit more on what you're looking for in those 3 C's?
Yeah, I mean, well, the customer, number one, because without them, there's no point in attempting to open a business. And your approach to the customer, there's so many predatorial practices out there, companies that are looking to fool or scam or take people's money and give them a product that isn't any good. That's the antithesis of Andy's. And we're here to serve people. And the cool thing is, if your dog died, got hit by a truck that your ex-wife was driving after she burnt your house down, man, if you show up at Andy's, it's a good day. It's a good day.
We can turn their day around.
That's right.
Is there a teachable method you use to help others identify excellence when they see it?
Oh, yeah, man. I start by pointing out wrong. I point out what's wrong with the situation or a circumstance or an individual. If I can get a read, if I can't, I'm just like, that person's having a bad day. Can we help turn them around? If we can't, just say a prayer and move on. But they have the scientific method. And as you know, we don't need to go into all, but my background is very, very, very science-based engineering. Scientific method is kind of what I learned, and it applies. But if you add an element of faith and truth and passion, I mean, people throw that word around. I don't even think most of them knows what it means. I mean, look around you. You're here. They can't see. What do you see right here in your immediate surrounding where we're at?
Yeah, there's a lot of passion going on. Just looking in here, these aren't just your typical passion projects
No.
either.
They all have purpose. They all have meaning.
That's right.
They encapsulate history, everything that was great and can be made great again. That's what I do, man. That's a servant mindset.
You know, Jason, looking ahead, what does it mean to serve at the will of Andy's family? And how long do you hope to continue serving here?
Man, as long as they'll have me. I always think of it, what would Carol think?
Nice.
And then I go, what would Dana think? And then I go, what would Andy think? And if I get through those three, I jump on it, man. I pull the trigger every time. I'll ride the bullet solo, and maybe a few people would jump on, but I do more good than bad for sure. I attempt to avoid doing bad, and it's not really that difficult. Making a mistake is not being bad. Making a mistake is having the courage to do something. You need to be that way. I mean, if you just sat back waiting for the world to take care of you, it's going to be a long wait. Help others. Take your job seriously, like you're doing it for someone much bigger than yourself and everyone you know. Do it with purpose, do it with passion, and do it with pride, but stay humble.
Yeah. Jason, tell us how all this applies to your principle of the APEX principle.
Well, it's really, I mean, there are four basic principles. I just want to pick one out right now, if that's cool.
Sure.
Success is a pathway. It looks like different things for different people. For me, there's three key principles within that. You're going to have to sacrifice, right? So sacrifice is a necessary condition for success, but what you sacrifice will define your success. Never sacrifice your product, your principles, or your people. And if you're not sure of who your people are, they're all the ones around you that are actually responsible for your success. Servant leadership, that's the key.
I love that. Jason, I always end with this question, and I believe this time it carries a little extra weight since you have been such a big part of the behind the scenes on some of our best treats. But I want to know, what's your favorite?
Wow. My favorite treat would be an attic mix.
Yeah.
2 white up top, 1 down below. That's my favorite go-to treat to introduce someone. And just when I need to clear my head and remember why I'm doing what I'm doing and how good it needs to be. That's Carol Kuntz. That's Leon Schneider. That's Andy and Dana. That's Leah Collier Tatum. That's anyone and everyone that bears the Andy's name. So yeah, I'd go with an attic mix, 2 for 1.
I love it. All right, Jason, thank you so much for your time and wisdom today.
Yeah, thank you, Travis.
I know our listeners picked up some great cheat codes.
Can I give a shout out?
Shout out away. I love it.
What's up? If I haven't met you, I want to. If you've met me, you know me, and I love you. I wish you the best. And remember, you can call anytime. Call Travis if you don't have my number. Ask around. What you're doing is bigger than your job. You're making people happy. You're giving them hope. You're celebrating their victories. And you're encouraging them during their losses. So it's an honor and a privilege to serve. And thank you, Travis, for the interview.
Jason, thank you. All right, guys, my goal is that you learned something today and that you can use it to get closer to making your dreams come true. I'm here to serve everyone, not to change anything, just support great leadership and decision-making. Keep engaging, share the content, and that's it for today. If you need anything, email me at travis@eatandys.com. Here we go. Leadership is portion control for chaos. The right amount at the right time, every time. Go win the day.